So George Zimmerman in more trouble. And now last week he was apparently being reported by his own brother, who sent out a tweet saying that he is going to get divorced, that his wife Shellie Zimmerman has filed for divorce. Now, breaking news today, and why we bring this story to you in the first place, turns out that he has been detained in a Central Florida town for threatening his now estranged wife, Shellie Zimmerman, and her father with a gun. Now, look, the police chief, Steve Bracknell, says, and this is in Lake Mary, he says, we've only heard one side so far. We haven't heard Zimmerman's side yet. And you know the police are predisposed to listening to Zimmerman's side. Okay, so they're waiting on that. This is happening right now, okay? But, you got the news choppers in there, etc. And David and Michelle Dean are the parents here. And apparently, obviously, they're involved in the story as well. Now, why is Zimmerman possibly the next OJ? Not because of what he's going to do to his wife. No. Look, if he threatened her with a gun, that's reprehensible, and there should be legal ramifications for that, etc. But that's not what I mean. It's that this guy, as we told you immediately after the verdict came in, loves the spotlight. He can't get enough of it. That's why he went to the gun manufacturer that produced the gun that killed Trayvon Martin. And he was smiling, and he was taking the photo there because he's like, somebody, give me a little bit of attention. I love the attention. I'm hooked on the attention. And you know that he's recently been pulled over twice for speeding, including last week? Steve-O, who works here, once told a story about his kids. And, when they were really young, one of the girls would do something and then would say, look at me, Daddy, look at me, Daddy. Like, that's what kids do, right? It's understandable, and I hate to compare anybody's kids to George Zimmerman. But he's doing that on a grand scale and on a sad scale, where he's basically telling the whole country, look at me, Daddy, look at me. I'm right here. Please, please, please don't take the spotlight away. Look, I'm speeding. Look, I happen to show up at a traffic accident very conveniently in the middle of the morning, ready with a fire hydrant. Fire extinguisher, I should say. That was a curious story, right? And then his lawyers say, oh, him going to the gun manufacturer was not part of our PR campaign, indicating that there was a PR campaign, which might explain the accident situation. And he gets busted for speeding again. His wife files for divorce, and now there's a story out today about how he might have pulled a gun on her and her parents. Now, what happened to OJ after he was acquitted? Oh, when they took the spotlight away, he was so sad. So sad. OJ loved the spotlight, whether he was a football player, he was an actor, or even during his trial. So what did he do? Get up against the wall, motherfucker, as he famously said when he went back to get his sports memorabilia and then wound up in jail for a long, long time. I mean, who goes with a gun to go get their sports memorabilia if they're OJ Simpson? You do that if either you have a tremendous guilty conscience, which might be the case, and think, come on, I belong in prison. I cut 2 people's heads off, right? And I got to find a way to get back into prison. And or you think, oh, somebody look at me. Look at me, Daddy. Look at me. Oh, yes, I'm back in the news. And I think Zimmerman has an even bigger case of that. So he's not going to let this thing go until he's back in a big, big way. And I'm afraid what he might do to get there, to get that kind of spotlight. I hope this is the end, but I'm afraid that it's not. And thank God his wife and her parents are safe for the moment being.